met these two chicks at the comedy club there, and I'm shooting the shit with them, and I say, so what do you guys do? And they said, we're gold diggers. And I was like, what?
What, seriously?
Straight up, they go, gold diggers. So at that point, it just all went out the window for me. Now I just become like Dick Cavett. I just start interviewing them. I go, how do you gold dig in fucking Cleveland? I go, there's nothing here. Where do you go? And they just go, steakhouses. And it just all made sense. Those old fucking guys who just focused on their career and they're trading in. They just go in there, and they had the whole system worked out where you go in pairs, and then they always want to take them to a Cavaliers game. So you don't go in their car. You drive your own car there. Never drink a drink that you or your friend didn't see him make. And you basically then you get to that level, you're courtside, and then you try to make eyes with the fucking Cavalier guy, and then you fucking ditch them and try to go to that fucking after party.
Wow.
Fucking riveting. I was going to try to get on my podcast. I lost that goddamn number. I sat there, dude, like for 45 minutes, jaw on the ground. I don't know why. They were just straight up 100% honest, and it was just...
And this is why you were on stage.
No. This is, afterwards, a little farther.
Listening to the Sluts
I was baffled. I thought you
I'm sorry.
talked to them in the audience.
No, I said at the bar.
Oh.
I felt like
I missed
Spider there in
that part.
Goodfellas. I said I was at the bar.
Holy shit, that's hilarious. Why would they just tell you like that?
I don't know, but it was awesome.
They were proud.
We were in Vegas once, and there was this girl. It was me and all these jiu-jitsu guys, and they were all like, the girl was like pretty hot, and she was by herself. And I slowly asked around. I was like, is she with him? No. Is she with him? No. How did she get here? I go, that girl just walked up and started talking to everybody? And he goes, yeah. I go, oh, okay. And then she asked me something, and I go, how much do you charge? And she goes, depends on what you want. And all the guys, like, they stopped, and everybody's jaw dropped, and shit got real. It was like, whoa. Like, I just called her. I go, how much do you charge? And she just stopped. She's like, what are you guys talking about? And I was like, whoa. And none of them knew. None of them had any idea.
She was probably thinking for the half hour, when are these fucking idiots going to realize?
No one knew. They were all joking around with her. She was feeling their biceps, and they were talking, what's your favorite position? Shit got crazy quick.
Dude, I remember one time I was in Vegas, right? And I was doing the improv, and at the end of the show, there was this, just not even a beyond a cougar. What do they call them? Saber-tooth? Like, this chick was like in her 50s, tanned, all wrinkled up. So she
Saber-tooth.
Yeah, so she fucking shows up, and it's me and this other guy. I don't name names, but he was like older.
Tell me what his name is. I'll name him.
I don't even fucking remember his name on purpose, right? So we're standing there. And she's talking to him, he's talking to me, blah, blah, blah. And she finally goes, hey, you want to hang out? So we're like, yeah, let's fucking hang out. So we end up going to O'Shea's, which is like, you can play like nickel craps. It's like the biggest fucking white trash place I've ever been to in my life. So we're fucking talking to this girl for 45 minutes, and it's getting boring. So finally she goes to the bathroom, and the older comic looks at me, he goes, Jesus Christ, you going to fucking make a move on this broad or what? I go, me? I thought you were into her. And he goes, no. And we just like silence. He goes, you want to get out of here? I go, yeah. We just turned around. We left like fucking school kids. I couldn't even feel my legs. I was laughing so hard as we left there. And I actually now have an unbelievable amount of guilt that we left her in the sorriest fucking casino, clearly saying I will blow either one of you, and that wasn't enough. Like, she just literally, her pussy bottomed out. Like, that was it. That was the over. It just closed up.
That's a solid hit to the self-esteem.
It's like when one of those legendary diners finally goes out of business and everybody gets sad, goes down there for one last corned beef sandwich before they turn it into a Best Buy. No? Whatever. Yeah. I tried to put a button on it. They're not all gems.
Star Diner, White Plains, New York. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. We've been making corned beef sandwiches for 60 years. That wham 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 bam 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 boop 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 boop. Oh my God! Ooh 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 ooh.
So.
Well, I wish I could just have one, but it's not satisfying because you have one and then you want 100, and then you drink 100 and then you feel like shit. And, like, if I just drink one, like if I have one at lunch, then it's like I want to go take a nap.
Really?
I either got to keep going. If I keep going, I can go for, like, a good hardcore 4 or a gentleman 6. And then I'm done. But, like, I
Do you feel pulled to it?
No.
Is it like Gollum in the Ring?
No, I don't even know what that means. I just like
Precious.
it. I just like it.
Precious.
No.
Yes.
No, I like
it wants us to drink. It's precious. Yes.
I don't even know what that is. I don't watch
You didn't see the Lord of the Rings? You didn't see the Lord of the Rings?
I went to one of those, and it was so fucking long. And every time they would fade to black, I'd be like, "Just roll the credits, just roll the credits." And then they would open up on some big field, and it's just like, Jesus, get the fucking thing back to the guy so we can get out of here. You know what? I fucking hate all of those movies. And I fucking pay people who don't have a sense of humor about the bullshit that they watched when they were kids, like adults who talk about Star Wars. Like, that isn't a fucking weak movie now when you watch it. I mean, how
it's terrible.
It's horrific. I was making fun of the other night. I came home. I got free Cinemax, which is the greatest fucking channel ever. They either 24 hours a day they're either showing the greatest movie ever or the worst fucking movie ever, and it's all compelling. I watched like 9 movies in a row. Like, this fucking channel's unbelievable. So I ended up flipping up. Because late at night they just had some sort of, softcore porn, which is ridiculous now when you have the internet. So it just was redundant. So I got off of that. So I went on to VH1, and they were playing this show Metal Mania. And I was watching all these bands and these videos that I just thought were fucking sick, and they're into the devil. Dude, I was just, by the end of it, I was like, how was this better than disco? Like, why did disco get so much shit? Like, I'm not talking about, like, the Iron Maidens, the Metallicas, but you know what I'm talking about. That middle of the fucking ground, those people with the spiked fucking gloves and all this stupid shit and raw meat. And it was horse shit. It was fucking, I watched it. It was the dumbest shit ever. It was embarrassing that I mean, granted, I had all of that music still on my iPod. I'm not above it. But if someone were from this generation were to come back and tell me that music was awful and was stupid, I would laugh. There's no way I could defend it.
Isn't it weird how you look at, like, if you look at music or you look at movies, that's like one of the clearest examples of, like, some sort of evolution or progress is going on with humans, because like the movies of the past, like so many of them they're so clunky, and the style of communicating is so artificial. It's such a shit
Right.
representation of life in comparison to a real good movie.
Until the 60s, once they figured out, like just acting on film, like those people just learning how to do it. So everything was gonna be not, let me tell you something.
Yeah.
Like that type of acting had to go away with the Brandos and the James Deans and those guys,
right.
and then you had to have like there's a couple like there's movies back there like Jack Lemmon, The Apartment.
Well, The Hustler
is way ahead of its time. The Hustler.
The Hustler's
anything
an
by
amazing movie.
Stanley Kubrick.
Yeah.
That type of shit.
There were some people that were
still
getting
holds
it
up
right.
though.
But the bad movies from the 60s and the 70s, try to watch like Jaws 3D.
Oh yeah, no, that's just bad. That's a bad one.
There's some bad
But
movies.
they still have movies like
Sure.
that. I mean,
oh yeah,
I think a lot
for
of that,
sure to this day.
that
yeah.
Transformer shit. Even though I didn't see it,
But if you see,
I never vibe with sci-fi people, like sci-fi listeners. I always get trashed by them because I just don't get it. Unless
you don't get sci-fi at all.
No, if it's like Aliens, like it has to be high quality. Like Aliens is like the Goodfellas of that I like on like top shelf sci-fi. I'm gonna be into Blade Runner, Aliens, and that type of shit. But if I'm just gonna go watch, we're in Hoth. I don't know what the fuck that's from. What is Hoth? That's a Star Wars thing?
I don't know.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, like one of those fucking things with the action figures and shit. It's just.
Did you like Transformers growing up?
I didn't like Chewbacca. I didn't get Chewbacca. It's like, dude, you're a
fucking awesome guy to have around. He's huge.
Yeah,
Can you imagine you could party with Bigfoot? I would totally party with Bigfoot.
Yeah, but he should be ripping somebody's arms off. He's shooting a gun like he's a he's a
badass.
He's limited.
He knows how to shoot guns too. He'll rip your fucking arms off, but he can also shoot you from a distance, bitch.
He's limited.
Oh, I like Chewbacca.
Star Wars. Yes.
I would totally hang out with him.
You know what I didn't like about him? He was a follower.
Well,
he started hanging out with all the
beta.
humans. Next thing you know, he's sitting upright in chairs.
Right,
sipping little juicy juices. Right.
Yeah. I wonder if he could understand us.
Like
Could they understand him? They could speak that. Could Han Solo speak?
I think it was a language, but we just didn't understand it. So
he
all
said
that
the
was
same
probably
fucking
easy
thing
shit.
every time.
Not that many Wookiees. It's like Chewbacca and like There's no other famous Wookiees.
No, he was like the dodo bird of...
Isn't that weird?
We're going to be destroyed on Twitter because our Star Wars knowledge sucks, and you know we're going to get this shit forever.
Dude, there's a fucking million Wookiees! There is a nation of Wookiees! There is a federation of Wookiees! You know not what you're talking about!
Yeah, but there's nothing better than just having a fucking 10% knowledge of those movies and just criticizing them because it's just driving some kid nuts.
Oh my God! Ex-girlfriend's sister. Hey, Billy Bergenstocks. I'm 26 and still in love with my high school sweetheart. We've been on and off again for 10 years and have gone through a lot, to say the least. Jesus Christ, yes. I just got back from a 2-week vacation with her where everything was perfect and we had the time of our lives. This is the woman I want to start a family with, and it became more and more apparent on this trip. Congratulations! What could go wrong? Here's the thing. I slept with her sister on a drunken, blacked-out night 3 years ago while me and her were not together and were on bad terms. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. My heart was broken, and I had a lot of resentment. I was 23, drunk, weak. Shut the fuck up, dude. You had a dick. You fucking jerked off to her while you were dating her other... Get the fuck out of here. Don't fucking come at me. I got a dick too, all right? Don't fuck. And her younger sister came on to me. Oh my God, you victim. Things were different then and I was a mess. Listen, I'm not saying you weren't fucking heartbroken. You were fucking psyched the next day. There you go. You know what? You just got to check off a whole family. All you got left to do is bang their mother. That's got to be called something like the Grand Slam. You know, like when Tiger Woods won 4 in a row, and they were saying he won the Grand Slam. You won all 4 majors. Would be if you bang the mother and all the daughters. That would be the Grand Slam. The amount of guys laughing right now while the women are pissed. Well, a year or so later, me and my high school sweetie started talking again and started to become close, leading up to where it is now. I had an unbelievable guilt for what I did with their sister the closer me and this girl got years later. It is the only thing that I haven't been honest with her about, and I had to tell her, you fucking idiot. No, you didn't. You should have talked to your sister and been like, look, what are we going to do here? You know? How does it make things better that you told her? That's such a... And then, like, for the rest of their fucking lives, that's going to be a problem between the two of them. Ah, Jesus. You shouldn't have said shit and just waited till 20 years later when the sister, you know, who never got married gets fucking hammered and you go, yeah, well, I fucked your husband 25 years ago. And at that point, you know, what are you going to do? You'd be like, yeah, it was in the fucking 2000s. What do you want from me? Anyways, he goes, well, a year or so later, me and the high school sweetie started talking again, blah, 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 blah. I had an unbelievable guilt. So I had to tell. So the last night of our vacation, oh my God, we were laying in bed and I told her everything. I took a slap. She was crying for hours and it was as ugly as you can imagine. Well, you know what, dude? I commend you. You got it off your fucking chest. He goes, I feel terrible and am torn on if it was the right decision to tell her. My friends are giving me mixed answers and I would like an outside perspective from someone who I respect greatly. Well, Jesus, well, I appreciate you respect me. I don't know, do you? If it was really bugging you and you felt like you had to tell her, good, you told her. You know? Now you don't have to worry about that fucking thing coming out of nowhere. He goes, it is still fresh and everything is confusing on what is next. We love each other very much, but obviously I fucked up big time. Do you think this relationship stands a chance? I really hope it does, but I'm worried I ruined it. She seems to be getting through it better than I thought after her first reaction. She told me she loves me, but I really hurt her and she needs some space because when I'm... she needs some space. I hope you don't have a brother. Because when I'm with her... Okay, she told me she loves me, but I really hurt her, and she needs some space because when I'm with her, she can't be mad at me. I'm not a scumbag, and this is completely out of character for me to do. I just made a terrible mistake. Thanks, and go fuck yourself. I will say, the fact that you actually feel this level of guilt, you're a better man than me, because I wouldn't have said shit. I just would have just been like, well, I hope this doesn't fucking come out someday while we're having pumpkin pie over Thanksgiving. And I bet there's a lot of people out there that live with that secret. My thing is not only the cowardly self-preservation that I would try to have, I'm also thinking, like, this is how I would have handled that situation. I either wouldn't have said shit, or I would just break up with her and just walk away from it. Because I wouldn't say, hey, by the way, I banged your sister. And then for the rest of their life, they have to fucking deal with that. When I'm the piece of shit that did it. But I have to commend you that you actually felt that level of guilt and said something. Because I don't know. So it sounds to me that you're going to get past it. So the good thing is that now you don't have to worry about that fucking grand piano fall crashing down on your fucking life someday. So that's the upside. Maybe there's an upside that you told her where she'll have faith in you that, like, wow, this guy actually feels guilt about stuff like that, so I can trust him. We were broken up while it happened. Let me see if I can get Nia in here for this one. Hang on a second. All right, the magic of the pause button again. The lovely Nia is here.
Hi.
Hey, how you doing?
All right, ex-girlfriend's sister. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
All right, really quickly, this guy, all right, I'll give you the abridged version. I've been on and off again for 10 years, just got back from a 2-week vacation with her. Everything was perfect. We had the time of our lives. This is the woman I want to start a family with. Here's the thing. I slept with her sister on a drunken, blacked out night 3 years ago while we met. While me and her were not together and we're on bad terms. My heart was broken. I had a lot of resentment. I was 23, drunk, weak, and her younger sister came on to me.
I don't know. I tell you, that's a rough one. That's a real rough one.
You like how he makes himself the victim?
Yeah, she came on to me. Okay.
I said earlier, I said, dude, I have a dick too. Don't fucking lie to me.
Exactly. Stop it.
I said you rubbed one out to her before you fucking...
Yes, the seeds have been planted for a while that you've been wanting to fuck the sister. Don't try to act like, oh, I was so heartbroken. You and the sister are both dirty.
Okay. So here's the deal. He goes, he felt terrible the last night of the vacation. He couldn't deal with the guilt, so he told her.
Oh my God.
He goes, I took a slap. She was crying for hours, and it was as ugly as you can imagine.
Yeah.
All right. She told me she loves me, but I really hurt her, and she needs some space because when I'm with her, she can't be mad at me. I'm not a scumbag, and this is completely out of character for me to do. I just made a terrible mistake. So he's basically saying, do you think the relationship stands a chance? I really hope it does, but I'm worried I ruined it. She seems to be getting through it better than I thought after her first reaction. What do you think?
Yeah, no, it's not going to happen. You fucked your sister. It's over. That's it.
You think so?
Yeah, because, I mean, maybe there are some people who are more emotionally evolved than I am, but I couldn't get back. Like, that's her sister. Like, her sister's not going anywhere. And, like, how's it going to be at, like, Thanksgiving and Christmas and, like, all that kind of stuff? Like, you're just going to avoid each other or just kind of, like, it's weird. I mean, maybe the three of them can have
a threesome.
No!
And just get it out of the way. Yes! That's exactly what I was thinking.
You can't have a threesome with your sister. That's disgusting. That's gross. I would never want to see my sister
stand there talking to each other, and he's behind them.
Yeah, talking to each other.
Hey, remember we went to the water park?
Oh, God. Oh no! Stop. Unless the three of them sit down and both this guy and the sister are so repentant and so whatever, but like you'd never be able to trust them. You'd never be like, oh yeah, can you guys run out and like, get some extra sugar and more groceries?
Try not to fuck each other.
Exactly. Exactly. So, and that's the thing. She might be okay with him now, but in the end, she's going to choose her sister. Like that, no matter how her sister betrayed her, that's the sister. So you are disposable. You're just like the dude. That's her family. So if you think that you really
But I
have
feel
a
like they're
chance,
done too.
her and the sister?
Yes.
Her and the sister will probably get past it.
Look, I have
but
to
like
say,
long ways from now, and it'll probably always still be there. But because they're family, I mean, family betrays each other all the time,
Here's
you know?
the thing, though. Here's the thing. I think what she did was worse than what he did.
The sister?
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. If we're going to like put them on who was the worst person in the situation, the sister, 100%.
So here's what I learned.
You never do that.
If you're with a woman, okay, okay, and you guys break up and blah, 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 if her sister comes on to you, like, you are effectively ending that relationship forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not only
do you think he
the
should have told
relationship
her?
with her and the relationship
Do you
with
think
the
he
sister.
should have told her?
The thing about it is that he told her because he felt guilty. So it was to unburden his own conscience, because it wasn't real, because there's nothing in telling her that would make her feel better. And, oh my God, thank you so much for being honest with me. That's the sister. So I don't know. I don't really know how to answer
nothing
that.
commendable that he had such guilt that he had to tell her?
Not really, because people are
Nita,
burdened with
she's
guilt
bringing
all
that.
the time, and they like, oh, I just had to get it off my chest, and it's like, great, congratulations, it's off your chest. Now I feel shitty. So was that really for me, or was that for you?
Nia Renee Hill coming here bringing the lumber.
Yeah, I'm not with that whole like, well, at least he was honest with you. It's like, for what? For me? No. That was all for him to
I
unburden
never looked at
himself.
it that way. Wow.
Yeah. Not that I don't think apologies are worthwhile, or it's not like I don't think that you should apologize for something you did wrong, but I just feel like you really need to
I was
question.
really hoping that's what you were saying.
Yeah. You really need to question your motivations for confessing something of this level. You know what I mean? It's like, what are you really trying to do? A lot of times people are just trying to unburden themselves.
Well, that's what I was saying. That the best thing now is he got it out there, so he doesn't have to worry about that grand piano coming crashing down into his life someday. Like I was saying, when they're having like fucking Thanksgiving dinner.
What I want to know is what is going on between the girl and the sister. Because obviously, that's no sister. That's no real, I don't know. That's
And
what I'm more
You know what's
interested
something
in.
else? Why that's fucked up is because now you know that the parents know. You know?
You think she would have told the parents, like, Mom,
But if they know...
Stephanie fucked my boyfriend.
Yeah, and then they got to be like, oh my God, we raised a whore.
And I don't think that she's a whore.
I'm not saying she's not a whore, but I'm saying, but she got
people
some
make
issues.
mistakes, but
She's got-
that's
no,
really
that's issues.
No, that's beyond.
That's a power thing.
Yeah, it is.
A total power thing.
It is. I wonder if this was a younger sister. And I wonder, like, who knows? But that's what I'm more intrigued about now. It's like, what's going to happen with these sisters? You know? That's some deep shit right there.
It is
So, I
Yeah,
don't know.
that's like a power thing on her thing, saying like, you know, as much as you're into her, you still can't fucking resist me. What is it?
Yeah, maybe so. Because who does that? Who goes after...
Nia, let us into the female mind.
I can't let
What
you
goes
in
on
on
in-
that. That's not a female thing. That's like a dirty ass hoe, bitch, nasty person. I don't know what that's like. I would never go after a relative's like significant other.
So where do you draw the line?
What do you mean?
Coworker. So you're not. Just so the people know, because you really have strong opinions on this. So I want to know.
I do.
So family, obviously.
Yeah, no,
Hey,
you don't
it's
do
about
that.
the family.
Yeah.
You ever fucking in my
If this
family,
is a
I'll fucking
person that
kill ya.
is clearly in a relationship with somebody else, and you know
We got
they've
all
been
that.
together,
I
like,
want
you
to
don't
know.
do that.
I want to know where you draw the line. Coworker. Okay. You guys occasionally have lunch together.
With the sister's coworker.
Yeah, and there's something the guy's got, like he does like the paisley tie with the suspenders. You know that.
Oh,
always,
can't resist
Yeah,
that.
you guys always go nuts about that. No belt, no suspender.
belt.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, if you have suspenders, you don't need a belt. So, but anyway,
What if he has both? Suspenders and a belt, and then you think like,
Then
well,
I don't
this
know
guy.
what it is that you're trying to do.
Well, maybe
Why would you have both?
wouldn't that like get that thing, that female thing, where like you'd feel safe? Like this guy's really going to have he's going to have an alarm system and a gun
Yeah, I know.
and a sword.
And wear 2 condoms? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that. Yeah, no. I mean, if they're not involved, if they're not like in a real relationship,
Neighbors.
Yeah, that's
Neighbor.
not
Would you bang a neighbor?
Would I bang like my sister's neighbor?
No, not your sister's. No, we're taking family out of it.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
saying where is the line where
Mm-hmm.
it's just like, well, whatever, bitch, Isn't that how you guys say? You put the hand up, whatever, bitch.
But what are you talking about?
I'm saying, because you're saying, that's family, you can't fucking do that. I was just trying to find a comedic angle here. Now you're
I see what you mean. I mean,
neighbor, 2 streets over. Your neighbor knew them, invited you over, and you went over there.
you know what? I have a real life example of this.
The guy
It
was
happened in
the
high
guy was an
school.
architect.
Okay, all right. I got it. I have a real life example of this. During my prom, my senior prom, I went with somebody else.
You're dirty. Yep.
Wait a minute. I went with somebody who was just a friend, okay? But
Biz
my
Markie?
friend, yes, Biz Markie. He was just a friend. But my friend went to the prom with this guy that she had just met, and they were set up by another friend. He went to a different school, so they didn't really know each other.
Here come
but
the
that was the day.
justifications.
But the thing is,
They just met. They were set up by friends, so I'm totally innocent.
So
just
we
say the dirty thing you did.
really connected during prom, and as you know, that was not what happened. As you know, my prom did not end that great. My parents came and took me from this house that I was in because I was dumb enough to tell them the truth. I called my parents because I was supposed to spend the night at a girlfriend's house, but instead we were going to be hanging out at this boy's house. His older sister was there. There was a whole bunch of us, but we were hanging out. I was having such a great time that I called my parents and I said, hey, just so you know, I'm staying here. My mom completely flipped out, and she and my stepfather came and extracted me from the home. So that's how my prom ended.
Exactly.
So it didn't end on it was a very traumatic, but
great parents.
Ultimately they did the right thing. But anyway, me and this guy ended up connecting, and we ended up dating afterward. So,
oh, that's different. I thought you were saying
we went in the bathroom.
went into the front part of the limo and put the window up.
No. But it wasn't her boyfriend. They had just met. I think she definitely felt some type of way about it,
Only because he chose you over her.
Exactly.
You guys didn't have any sort of friendship?
No, she and I were really good friends.
Yeah, no, that's not good. Oh, that's a rough one.
But it wasn't her boyfriend.
There's been a lot of rough ones here. A lot of rough ones.
And we dated for a while. We dated up until, I went to college, basically, and that was the end of that. So it wasn't this long-term, torrid affair. It wasn't like he was my first love or anything. He was just really cute and a football player and liked Bob Marley. Hey, what can I say?
Oh, I'm sordid details here. All right. Well, that's the podcast for this week. Geez, you came hard this week. You came hard. You really fucking just put that guy. You just said, you know what? That's it. It's a fucking wrap. And you know what? I think you're right. Mm-hmm. I think you're right. I can say that.
Yeah. I want to talk to you about...
You don't have to point at me.
I want to talk to you about this Brady situation that he's in right now.
What are you talking about? They won this week. They won this week.
No, I'm talking about the fact that he said he was going to retire and now he's not, and now he's getting a divorce.
See, is that why the WNBA doesn't make it?
Excuse me? What are you talking about?
Well, because you guys are into that. That's his personal life.
I know.
And he's going through a really painful thing right now. And that guy put my team on the goddamn map times 6. I'm not talking.
Talk about it in the
wrong
sense
podcast.
Of,
wrong podcast.
Oh, really? This is the wrong podcast to talk about it? Because let me tell you something right now. If you made
Let me tell you something.
If you made me move to Tampa, okay, while you did your, job, obviously.
I don't think that was his idea.
What do you mean?
Well, she's from Brazil. Isn't she gradually dragging him back to Brazil? Like when a crocodile grabs somebody?
No one's dragging anybody.
The alligator catches...
Except to the fucking cleaners.
No, they're both rich. Come on.
Yeah, no. She doesn't.
Don't talk about it.
She doesn't need his money. Oh, now we're all precious about Brady. He doesn't even give a fuck about New England anymore. He's done with you guys. He's over. over you.
He
He's
should
over
be.
Boston.
He should be.
Why are you being so level-headed? I thought we were going to be able to like have a little back and forth about it.
Because all anti-patriot fans,
I'm not an anti-patriot.
whatever the fuck you are, coming at me,
Whatever
is
the
you guys
fuck you
all
are.
want me to hate that guy because he went to Tampa. That guy took us to 9 fucking Super Bowl and won 6 of them. All right, we're tied for the most Super Bowls ever fucking won with the Steelers. You know, and everybody knows that Green Bay is the fucking Celtics, Yankees, Lakers, Canadians of football because they don't count NFL titles. I don't know why. But what that guy did, I don't give a fuck, man. If you got to the point where you couldn't deal with our coach and you want to go down to Florida and not pay fucking state taxes, who gives a fuck? Like, that guy should have fucking retired if he was regular before we won the last fucking 3. And he hung in there and we won another 3. I don't give a fuck what that guy does. God bless him.
Fair enough.
He could go play for the Giants and win 10. I don't give a fuck. Because the guy made me happy for 2 decades.
Yeah, I guess so. All right.
Do you know what it was like being a fucking Patriots fan before that? Well, Bledsoe came in, Parcells. That was exciting and everything. But we still never quite got over the hump. And then Parcells told the team he was selling this fucking house, allegedly, right before we played the Packers in the Super Bowl. It's like, why the fuck would you do that? Give us a chance, man. You were a better fucking coach than them. Still kills me. I went to that game. Cost me fucking $2,000.
Okay, so won't bring up Brady. Just making a note in my phone.
No, I feel bad. Anybody I see going through a divorce, I always feel bad for that shit. And I don't think like it's just something that I should fucking gossip about because, I'm having a slow goddamn morning.
All right, I just like the tea.
You do like the tea.
I do like the tea, but we can move on.
All right, no, you know.
Best of luck to you, Tom Brady.
Yeah, both of them. They got kids together. It's going to be painful. It's just like, that's like when Charlie Sheen was going off the fucking rails and every morning DJ, hey, what do you think about that? Oh, I think his dad and his brothers are all fucking worried about him.
I think it was more about the exploring the dynamics of that marriage. And
You don't talk about Tom Brady.
I mean,
Yes, I really am being
Christ.
precious.
I
All right,
know.
I'm being a little precious.
I mean, a little bit. I didn't realize that that's how you felt about it. I felt more like of the dynamics of the idea of like you retiring and then being like,
Tommy
no, I'm
T.
not going to retire. And that
Fucking
whole
Brady.
Like, you're going to be taking some time off. And if you were like, no, I'm not doing that anymore, I would be like, what? You just said that you were, So I would feel some type of way. But maybe that's the beginning and the end of the discussion.
No. I want to know, why does that aspect of it fascinate you?
Like him starting to retire or not, because I'm trying to imagine as his partner, you're thinking, and obviously I don't know like the inner workings of their relationship, but I'm thinking, okay, cool, you're going to be home more, we're going to be doing more stuff with the kids. It's not going to, I supported you throughout this whole entire time, which of course I'm happy to do because I'm your wife, but now our dynamic is going to be different and I'm excited for that new dynamic, for you to be less busy, for you to be home more, and then for you to renege on that because you can't let go of this career that you've already proven yourself at for years.
Renege?
Renege, isn't it? It's
I wouldn't say that word as a white guy.
Well, but like the pull of the game, your career, again, when you've already been celebrated and decorated in it many times. How many championships did he win?
He has 7 there.
Yeah, like proving yourself 7 times. Like, it doesn't get any bigger than that. And you're telling me now you want to retire, go out on a high note, be with us, and now you're being pulled back. Like, I'm gonna take that shit personally.
Okay, can I just stop you for a second?
No. I'm still going. I'm gonna take that shit personal because now it's like you don't. So you really didn't want to do that. You really want to go back? You really want to be gone more?
Can I just say one thing?
No, I'm not done yet. And I'm just feeling like, no, I'm really done.
You just built so much into that.
What do you mean?
You added.
Yeah, that's of course because I'm not in it, and so
I know, but you don't know that's what happened.
But this is not based on the facts of what happened. This is what the emotion of it brings out. This is what gossip is. Gossip is a way for people to have shared values.
I'm a sports fan. I know what gossip is.
To do like shared values, sort of talking about. It's very rarely about the actual situation. It's about how you would do in that, and that in turn is about a bigger feeling about whatever the issue is. Family dynamics, husband and wife dynamics, career, all that kind of stuff. But I already know you're never going to retire. You say that. You're like, I'm going to retire. You're not. You're gonna be like, you're gonna have a Don. I'm calling it right now. You're gonna have a Don Rickles type of vibe, and you're gonna be doing these really interesting movie roles well into your 80s. Watch.
I don't know. Listen,
You heard it here first, folks.
we're already at an hour here.
I know. Let's move on to
No,
the
it's
question
all right.
that I can answer.
Yeah, like I don't even know what the fuck happened there. All right,
I saw something about the bottom one.
sister wives.
Yes.
Bill, I got into an argument with a guy at work about sister wives. I'm guessing that's it's got to be a series. You have to see it.
It is, but it's based on a Mormon practice where they have, their polygamy or whatever, and they have many wives, and they call them sister wives. So they're
Do you know what the initial?
But they share a husband.
They were initially were going to They were going to call that show "A Bunch of Bitches."
Anyway, keep reading.
He moved out to Utah, got himself a bunch of bitches. Bill, I got into an argument with a guy at work about sister wives. He told me that it would be great as long as they get along. Sister wives don't mean wives or sisters. It means, okay, I was going to say, what the fuck? It means that they all agree to being one of many wives.
Yes, it's a Mormon thing, yes.
He told me that it's the perfect way to have variety. With your sage wisdom, can you see any benefits of having multiple wives?
Well, this is interesting timing. Okay. Mm-hmm.
It was interesting timing.
It's just interesting timing that this topic is.
What are you talking about?
Nothing.
Oh. Wait a second.
So, do you see any benefit to having multiple? Would you like to have more than one wife?
More than one wife?
I was gonna say not
No,
wife.
oh my
One
God.
wife is
What are you
enough
doing
for
for my birthday? This is all you got me? You got your other 30 wives this.
Bill doesn't want another wife, but perhaps
Yeah, I mean
some other variety.
Some other variety that came over there. Yeah, why not? Why not? I'm going to turn into that guy. Who's that guy? Oh, he's in the sports world. He goes, I want to see you with her. I want to.
Oh God,
I want to see her enjoying you. I want to see you enjoying her.
Gross.
Yeah, it is the whole thing. It's one of those things. The idea of it is fantastic.
Yes, the actuality
of
is
doing
a nightmare.
Yeah, then it's all in your fucking head. It all seems like it's going to be great. It's like going to Disneyland. You're like, oh my God, this is going to be the happiest place on earth.
Here's the thing.
And then you go there and you're standing in line and it's a fucking nightmare.
But
when you're on the ride, it's never better.
Listen, I think multiple wives is not a terrible idea because then like she can deal with you when I'm like not in the mood. Just pass her off. Pass you off.
And that like you're not in the mood like to bang, or you're like not in the mood to listen to my
bang,
bullshit.
Not in the mood to listen to your bullshit. Just like I'm just like annoyed with you.
You call the bullpen.
Yeah, it's just
you get on the phone.
You take him because I had to deal with him for a week, so you can take this load off of me. Yeah, literally, take it. But yeah, so I understand it. Mm-hmm. Right. I get it, but I feel like though if they're gonna be jealous and stuff, like that's a whole other thing. It's like I wanted him tonight.
Yeah,
I want him tonight. But they probably all like do stuff together, don't you think?
I actually think what ends up happening is you guys all collectively get sick of each other the same way you would on a one-on-one. Mm-hmm. Okay, and then I feel like he has to play. I don't know what rights women have in Utah.
Barely any. As a Mormon woman, I don't think a lot. And the whole idea is to have as many children as possible.
Because there's going to be
put all that burden on one body. So you have many wives so that you can have many children, and your wife isn't miserable and pregnant for 20 years.
But then there's like, I like how you're looking at all these other women like personal assistants. No, I think it's like there's going to be the one wife that you vibe with. Mm-hmm. That gets you and you get her. And there's no way the other ones aren't going to feel like some sort of, that there's like, there's a depth chart on the team here. And why is she the number one quarterback and all that? Or maybe that's what you have to have understood. This is it's like a pimp game.
No,
right? Isn't that what it is? You have your bottom bitch
day,
and all of that?
Exactly.
I watch HBO documentaries.
Yeah, well,
I understand that
watch
community.
Pimps Up, Hose Down in like 95 and
no,
now you understand
Patrice
everything?
O'Neill gave me that book, Iceberg Slim.
No, the whole practice is barbaric and sexist, and I'm actually not. I'm joking when I say like, oh, I get it. No, I think the whole thing is like disgusting, you know. But in terms of like having some other
Fairy tale world.
yeah, in a fairy tale world, yes, I would like to pass you off to somebody every now and again, so I don't have to deal with you. I mean, I'm just being honest.
Am I that annoying?
Everybody is annoying. Everyone is annoying to their partner. I'm annoying to you. You're
I would
annoying
not
to
pass
me.
you off to some other dude.
Oh, right. Well, yeah, sure.
Yeah, that would not be happening.
And in truth, I
Hey,
would.
dude, I understand it, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, he needs to talk to you more. You want to go over to Chicken Carvers and we can talk some more about it?
I think I'm talking about more about like periodic breaks that I feel like a sister-wife situation would be, but it's probably not like that. I think they're all
Jesus,
together
do we need
all
to talk
the time.
or something? I thought we were getting along great. All right.
Yeah, so anyway, one time there was this transvest, and Patrice was holding court in front of the cellar, and I believe he was kicked out of the cellar at that point, but they couldn't stop him from hanging out there because upstairs was a restaurant. It was like this technicality, and I think they also knew that if Patrice hung out at the Boston Comedy Club, we all would have just done our sets and gone over to the Boston because you had to be around him. So he's sitting there, and he's trashing everybody, and all of a sudden this transvestite came down the street, and I don't know what the fuck he said to her. But she just stopped in her tracks, and she was all about it. And she got right in his grill. He was sitting down, of course, as always. And she was standing up, he, she, whatever the fuck you say. And they just started going at it. And I remember one of the first ones she hit him with, and she wasn't scared at all. She hit him with, like, what he told us was an old street joke. But she said that he had so many spaces between his teeth, it looked like his tongue was in jail. And we all were like, wow, we all died laughing, right? And Patrice goes, that's a stock line. And he sized her up in 2 seconds. Was like, all right, so this girl, she knows a bunch of fucking street jokes. So what he did was he threw like a light one, an easy one, and then he just like Ali laid back on the ropes, let her get like her next 3 fucking. I bought a snaps book, and then he just started in on her and fucking just totally turned because I was like, oh my god, Patrice is gonna lose to a fucking transvestite, this is great, you know. And then all of a sudden he turned it around, and I'm telling you, they just went blow for blow. And like I'm telling you, some of the funniest comics in New York at that country at that point were some of the funniest ones in the country, I feel. And we became audience members, and we shut up. A comedian, we all shut up and sat there and just watched them volley back and forth. And Patrice finally, started turning the tide. So she started walking away, was still running her mouth. She never quit, but she left. And I remember Jeff Ross looked at me and just shook his head after it and said, that's the most unbelievable fucking thing I've ever seen. And I was just like, it was one of those things you saw it, and as a performer, you wish you did it.
Yeah.
The same way you saw Eddie Van Halen, you'd listen to him play guitar and you'd be driving in your car fantasizing that you were doing it. Like,
or no. The equivalent to especially any comic listening to this right now, is you in Philly.
oh, that's it.
That's one of those moments where I saw it and I went, oh, I wish that had been me. I would have never been able to do that.
And that's how performers look at that shit. And that's one of the highest compliments. So I really appreciate that.
I'm telling you, I literally.
Well, if you watch that
I thought you were gonna say, if you want, just go perform in Philly.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, just go out. Yeah, show any sort of weakness in the anywhere in Philly. But when you watch me when I yell at the DJ, like I'm trying to fucking work something out here.
Yeah.
He was actually relaying something Patrice said because all the comics came to the side of the stage and were watching it by the end.
Yeah.
And he yelled out "Invincible." That's what he yelled out.
Oh.
Which would have been perfect because I would have been like, you fucking Eagles suck so bad. Some guy from a bar gets a tryout on your team. Not only gets a tryout, he makes your fucking team and has an impact, right? Like I could have gone on forever, but I didn't. Like I was so in attacking anything that talked to me.
Yeah.
And I always felt bad because the DJ, and because he kind of pointed over at Patrice, which was funny because me and Patrice weren't really talking at that time because we had that big fucking battle on O&A because of that fucking idiot radio show.
Yeah.
And that Philly thing was the first time we were backstage. We actually started like fucking talking again like friends because
I heard that live that you and Patrice, you were on the phone, right?
Yeah. And that's the worst thing about the internet. It was like a 3-month fight in our relationship, but it lives on forever.
Yeah.
And people still ask me about that. And it was just, we were doing this guy's show, and the guy was, the second I walked into the studio, he was just giving me shit. And I was thinking like I remember I came walking in the studio, and and they'd already given me a water. And so like one of the guys working on the show goes, Bill, anything else you need or anything? I was like, no, I got a water. I'm good. All I need is some headphones. And then he turns around and goes, we'll get you some cans. We'll get you some cans.
Who was this guy?
Don't
say it, because maybe I might be friends with him.
I don't want to. All you got to do is listen to the thing. You'll hear who the fuck it is. I don't name names, right? So then I was just like, whoa. And he just kind of kept coming at me like that. So I thought it was like, okay, this guy thinks maybe I'm coming in from New York, so I think I'm better than him.
Yeah.
So I thought like this was some little hazing thing, like, okay, this guy's going to break my balls for a couple of breaks, and once I show that I have a sense of humor about myself, he's going to warm up. He never did. And in the middle of it, Patrice called in, and he accidentally cursed, and I'm giving him shit for cursing or whatever, but I'm doing it more in like that cellar, hanging out in front of the cellar, you big stupid this isn't satellite radio, blah, blah, blah. But then, man, I know.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I already said it.
As soon as you said it, I went.
Yeah, he fucking hung up on him, and I didn't realize he hung up on him. But even then, I was just looking like, who gives a fuck? I didn't think it was that big a deal. And the episode ended like 2-3 hours later. The episode ends, and at the end of the episode, right, my HBO special came out, and the guy was like on the air trashing, like making fun of my special. Like, so what do you got going on? And I was like, well, I got a half hour coming out on HBO. And I just came out on HBO, and he goes, really? I haven't heard anything about it. Something like that. And I was like, well, it's doing real well. And he goes, whatever. And it was one of those things, the second the show ends, he goes, hey, did you have a good time? And it's just like, yeah, man, I had a great time. All right, see you next time. Fucking whatever. What was that?
Yeah.
And it was after. It was after the episode. That's when me and Patrice first got into a fight, because I got off, and all it was a message going, yeah, that guy's a dick, man. Give me a call. So I called him up, and I didn't realize that he was really upset by it. So I came at him in seller mode.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? Just kind of do this and blah, blah, blah. And I go, he hung up on you, jackass, or something. And he was like, a lot of people don't know, he was really a sensitive guy. So that's what started off. So then he goes on Opie and Anthony, and then that started the whole, you don't tell me I taught you to do this. And then my ego goes, what you fucking taught me to trash people?
Yeah.
Fucking met you when I was 25. I live in a quarter of a cent. And then it just was, and it was literally like, two fucking pit bulls in a ring.
Oh my God.
All right, 27-year-old virgin. Jesus Christ. Hey, Billy, I'd love to hear your humorous take on my pathetic situation. First of all, dude, let's work on your self-esteem. All right, you're already shitting all over yourself. All right, watch this guy. Watch him shit all over himself. I'm a 27-year-old virgin. Oh, Jesus. That's what he wrote. Now, your first question is going to be, how the fuck did that happen? Well, to protect myself, I'd actually prefer to keep my background as quiet as possible. Hey, I'm not trying to get you to rat yourself out. Here's what I can say. I come from a rich town inhabited by obnoxious cunts. I was always the weird kid and very socially awkward. People hated me no matter how nice I was. Jesus Christ, dude, are you like a superhero? That's like the exact same background of like every fucking superhero movie, isn't it? It's probably because nerds write those movies. Because they don't know how to fight, and all of a sudden they're like, what if I knew how to fight? What if I could fly? What if there was a guy who could save me? And then they draw it. And then nerds line up around the block to go see it. Dude, you see the new Spider-Man? Yes, it's exactly like the other ones. I was always the weird kid and very socially awkward. People hated me no matter how nice I was, and eventually I came to hate myself and still do. I called it. Dude, I fucking called it. He's shitting all over himself. Eventually, it was discovered that I most likely have a mild case of Asperger's syndrome, which is a mild form of autism, which is way out of my league. Are you guys trying to make me look dumb? I thought I did that. I achieved that by how awful I read out loud. Here we go. That causes social ineptitude and quirky personality traits. Well, I would go find a hooker with Asperger's. That's the first thing I would do. and get the fucking V off my back. Definitely wear a condom. See, that's where my advice is going to be coming from. You guys have some weird conversation in some ironic vehicle. At least discovering this made me more of self-aware, and I've been able to clean up my act over the last few years. But I still have a lot of social anxiety and shyness and very few friends. On the flip side, I'm actually pretty decent looking. Have a decent job in a laboratory. He's a fucking... This guy, he's going to get bit by something radioactive, and he's going to become a superhero. And I'm a certified commercial pilot and do volunteer work. Dude, like, you know something? If I was in the FBI, like, so many fucking red flags just went up there. Okay, that's the setup now. Now for the question. First, what the fuck would you do if you were in my situation? I told you, I'd get a hooker with Asperger's syndrome, and you guys could just bond over that. I don't know. Let me read all your questions. I'm obviously kidding about trying to find a hooker with Asperger's syndrome, all right? You couldn't find one. That would be like needle in a haystack. What you'd have to do is go to an escort service and request that personally. I would think. I'm looking for 36, 24, 36 with Asperger. Hair color does not matter. Yes, I can hold. Next, if eventually I ever do make it anywhere with a chick, should I tell her up front about my status? I had this conversation a few weeks ago with a friend who has a lot of romantic experience, and she said it would be extremely obvious that I'm new to the game and that withholding that information could itself be detrimental. But I also know that if I do tell a chick I'm 27-year-old virgin, she will demand an explanation before going any further, and it will send up red flags for the most. What do you do, Bill? Thanks for doing your awesome podcast, and go fuck yourself. All right, this is what I would do. I would just start hitting on every chick that fucking interests me, and I would be just totally honest. Tell her what your situation is, and you know, if she doesn't accept it, then fuck her, let her walk, and then you don't have to deal with any of the bullshit. You just fast forwarded through a 3-year fucking horrific relationship. I would just be upfront with people. I wouldn't open it with, "Hey, you have beautiful eyes, and I have Asperger." I wouldn't do that. You know, I would work on my self-esteem. I wouldn't talk shit. You shit on yourself right out of the gate. I mean, obviously, I knew you were going to do that when you said you were a 27-year-old virgin, and you're probably going to go that route. But think good thoughts about yourself, man. I know that's kind of like simple, but you gotta amp yourself up a little bit. Go out there and, you don't have to go find the chick of your dreams, but just go out. You don't got to tell some girl you got fucking Asperger's syndrome. You don't. Why don't you just do that with somebody that you're really interested in? But if you just want to go out and get laid, just go out there, start hitting on chicks, turn it into a game. So you don't have to deal with the pain of the rejection. Just be like, all right, I don't have the balls to take the next step. Whatever that step is, peeling yourself off the fucking wall, striking up a conversation, just saying hello to a pretty girl as she walks down the street. Just try to get over that fucking hurdle and give yourself permission to suck, and you gradually build it up. It's like learning how to play guitar. You're not going to pick it up and immediately be able to play all your songs. You learn a couple of fucking chords, then your fingers hurt, right? And you get frustrated, but you keep coming back, and eventually you can fucking play. Pussy is no different. That's what I would do. Put the Asperger on the back burner. Who knows, dude? Maybe you're not as fucked up as you think you are. Socially. You know what I mean? Maybe you got a sense of humor under there. I think you do. You shit on yourself in a funny way. Spin it around that way. Do you have any interests? Go to a fucking, I don't know, whatever. Do you fly kites? Go to some flying a kite convention. There's got to be some woman there who also likes kites. I know that was an overly simplified thing, but that's what I would do. All right? And then when you go to hook up with somebody, and they, tell them if you start, don't know what you're doing too. Watch a couple of fucking pornos. You'll get the idea. Actually, no, don't do that. Don't do that, because then you'll fucking start slapping them around. Yeah, don't do that. I don't know what to tell you, dude. Buy some books. There you go. Buy some books in that part of the bookstore that, if bookstores exist anymore. Go online. There's got to be plenty of information. I bet if you literally looked up finger banging technique, if you looked how to kiss, I bet there's just going to be reams of fucking information. I've never done that because I never had to. Oh, just kidding. Of course I had to. You think that I didn't wish that fucking information was around? Way back in the day when you had no idea, you just practiced kissing your fucking pillow and tried to overhear conversations in the fucking high school cafeteria and try to figure out what people were talking about. That's all I could do. You have the whole world at your fingertips, you know? So when you're done in the laboratory working with radioactive shit before you get bit by something, you know, why don't you go out and get laid before you learn how to fly? All right? All right.
All right, dear Bill, I need some advice. I'm 30 years old, and I've been seeing this lady for the past 4 months, and things have gotten pretty serious. I'm already having dinner at her parents' house frequently. Oh, Jesus. Going to her family parties. Oh, Jesus. And spending the holidays together. Jesus Christ. I'm practically part of the family already. To use her father's words, and to be honest, I'm cool with it. I love this girl. She's great. All right, so what's the problem? So great, in fact, we decided to do New Year's in Palm Beach together at our cousin's place. Now he finally writes, oh, Jesus. All right, now what's going to happen? See, I like some of these letters. They set him up like a great movie. Like, he set this up like this is perfect. This is like a Norman Rockwell painting. Everything's going great. Now all of a sudden, he's going to New Year's in Palm Beach together at a cousin's place. Why?
What could possibly go wrong?
This is very well written. This guy gets a star. Anyway, so we go out the night before New Year's. There's a whole group of us, and I head off to take a piss. I come back and see my girl dancing and making out with some other guy
Oh, shit.
who wasn't a member of our group.
Oh.
Well, who gives a shit even if he was a member of the group? It's another guy. I'm obviously flummoxed. This educated son of a bitch. I decided to interrupt their little makeout session on the dance floor. It would have continued unabated if I hadn't stepped in. So I pushed the guy aside, hand her back her purse. Yes, I was carrying her purse for her.
Ouch.
It fit into my back pocket, in case you're wondering. I was wondering. And I leave the bar. The bar is called the Cucina. Yeah, kitchen, right? Right?
I think so.
Yeah. I am a little Spanish right there. I am outside just beside myself with anger, and she doesn't follow me out. I go back to her cousin's place and go to bed. Around 3 a.m., the texts come in. Nothing happened. I didn't do anything, etc. She finally cops to it, and just in her defense, she says, I'm just not used to having a boyfriend, and I don't think you know how drunk I was. So, Happy New Year's.
This was in a text message?
No.
Oh.
No, when she showed up to him, she says to him, she finally
okay.
just said, look, fine, I fucked the guy. I'm just not used to having a boyfriend, okay?
Wow.
And I don't think you realized how drunk I was.
Wow.
Yes. See? And you can be that honest. You know what I mean? I could never be that honest with you because you could throw a vase at me, and then the cops would arrest me for breaking the vase with my forehead. Anyways, he goes, should I chalk this up to a dumb drunk mistake and patch things up?
No.
I'm having trouble being objective about this. This has really got me fucked up and hurting. Yeah, dude. Yeah, that was a ridiculous level of acting out.
Yeah,
on her part.
That's crazy. That is absolutely
That is some
crazy.
wacky stuff.
That's wacky. That's some real wacky stuff. No, she made out with a guy right in front of you.
He knows.
What are you talking
He knows.
about?
He knows what he's supposed to. He's fucking stunned.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
that's pretty stunning.
We're in the goddamn trauma unit right now. And you're going, you stepped on a landmine.
Yeah. Move
I'm
on,
telling you, no.
sweetheart. Move
Yeah.
on. Move
No,
on.
that
move
is
on. Retain some dignity and
Yes.
And walk away.
you basically just imagine if you discovered that 17 years in, married with 4 kids that half look like you and half look like this should have been stripper. All right? You dodged a bullet, and yeah, it's going to hurt, and that's really what that really is, dude, is aside from your feelings, that's your fucking manhood being hurt right there. 'Cause
And you don't have
as
to look at it
guys, you know, let me
objectively.
finish for fuck's sakes.
as a guy, that shit's not supposed to happen, right? Because you're supposed to put it on them, and they're supposed to be mesmerized by your dick. And the reality is that's not what it's like.
Yeah.
And when you discover that's a tough day.
Yeah, but
You know?
you don't have to look at
And
it
then you
objectively.
never trust those broads again. You never trust them again, and it's the
No.
safest place you can be.
No.
Number 3.
But don't look at it
Shut it
objectively.
last Saturday.
It was a shitty, horrible thing that happened, and you should be feeling all of those feelings, including anger. So, but just walk away. It's
Yeah, that's what he
over.
should do, is just walk away. Although,
It's
I would be
over.
tempted to pull a female move and get some revenge, and I would tell her dad, what he...
You know what a slut you raised?
Do you know what a slut you're in love with? That's half your DNA. Did she get that from your fucking wife? No.
No, yeah, there's
Yeah,
no
don't do
need
that.
to go. There's no need
No,
to
because
insult
then,
bring the
he'll look
mother
like an
into it.
asshole, and then he'll look like an
into
asshole,
it.
and then he'll understand why she did it. I'm trying to inflict the most pain here. Walk away.
Yeah.
I don't do revenge. Don't do that shit. All right, number 3. Last Saturday,
Say,
as they say in Boston.
say.
Come on over and fucking say. There's no consonants in that word.
Say.
Thursday, Friday, say. I always do that with brevity. Say. Last Saturday, I was out with my friends, and I was shit-faced. We were at a bar, and I was sitting at a table when I saw the girl. She was absolutely beautiful. I don't know why, but something told me I had to go up to that girl. See, they always start fucking phenomenally. The sun was out. Jesus was walking on the clouds. She saw me looking at her, and I give her a wink when she smiled at me. Jesus, you went with that? Did you give her the double point, too? I then turned to my friends and said loudly, "Give me a fucking pen." Oh, Jesus, is he drunk? Give me a fucking pen. They gave me a pen, and I wrote my number on a napkin and went over to her and her friend. I slapped the napkin. I love this guy. This guy's got. You're wearing a scarf too. This guy's like the most interesting man in the world. I love him. He's wrestling a badger in the corner. Hang on a second. Give me a pen. He goes. I slapped the napkin on the table and went to her ear and said, "I don't drink often, but I think you are fucking beautiful," and walked away. What? No, he's hammered. This is fucking hilarious. I totally missed the joke in this. This guy is completely fucking hammered.
Right.
So he's sitting there, head bobbling, winks
I
at
don't
her.
drink often. I think you're fucking beautiful. Okay.
Call this number. It's going to change your life, sweetheart. I love this guy. So anyways, being shit-faced, I didn't know any better. And I guess I went to the table and put my head... What? I went to the table and put my head was down at that point, according to my friends. She wanted to know what my name was and stuff, so my friends went over and talked to her and talked me up. Before she left, she came up to me, this guy's still in the game here, and told me her and her friends were leaving to go to a different bar. I asked her name, we talked a little bit, and she left with her friends. I told her, please text me. 3-4 days passed, and I hadn't heard anything. I couldn't get her out of my head. She was seriously the most beautiful girl I had ever seen. Yeah, after drinking a 12-pack of Keystone. And there was something about her. I know I was shit-faced, but I have never felt that way. I looked online for her on Facebook. The other person she was with had gone to high school with. We weren't friends, but we knew each other. I found the girl on her friend list. There we go. I know that is creepy, but I want to message her and tell her I am sorry for being so drunk, but I really want to talk to her. I feel she wouldn't have come up to me before she left to my friends and asked my friends my name if she wasn't somewhat intrigued. I don't think that's creepy. Nowadays, the old school, when I grew up, that's not creepy.
No,
I
not
think
creepy.
if you just say, listen, I'm sorry I was so drunk the other night. I really meant what I said, and I'm sure this freaks you out. I don't even say freaking out. Like, I'm not trying to invade your privacy. I just wanted to say I meant those things that I said.
Yeah.
Respectfully yours. Here's my phone number, my address, and
and just leave it at that.
and leave it at that. There you go.
No more communication after that, because then you're venturing into weird territory.
All right, what time we got on the podcast here? What am I?
1:02:19.
All right. Well, we're getting close to the end here. We got overrated and underrated. With that, also, I want to remind everybody that Amazon thing's been working out for me. It's a good thing, so I don't have to charge for the podcast. So this is basically what I've been telling people. If you're going to buy something on Amazon, rather than going directly to Amazon,
Amazon.com. Go to BillBurr.com. Click on podcast, and on the right-hand side, you'll see just under the iTunes link, you'll see the Amazon window, and you just click on that, and I will get credit for driving traffic to Amazon.com. You don't have to hit anything else after that, and I'm not telling you to buy anything. I'm just saying if you're gonna go to Amazon, just please go to BillBurr.com first.
Even if you're
click
just
on
going to
the podcast.
browse. Even if you're just going to browse for something.
I don't know if it works that way. They got to spend some money.
Oh, they do?
Yeah, it's like I'm driving people to a drug dealer. Even if you're just going to look at the cocaine, can I just sniff it for a second? And then no, they need to make their money.
Sniff it for a
Yeah.
second.
Even if you're just going to browse, if you just want to see what they're doing with their website, yeah, that's it. It's a great way to donate to the podcast. And like I said, 10% of all donations will then go on to the Wounded Warriors Project. So you support this podcast, you support the troops.
America.
America, that's right. Buy shit you don't need. Support the troops. It's all right there. Couple